Hey guys, it's Nurse Whit here. I figured that now is probably a pretty good time to share with you my story of my C-section and my recovery the last couple of weeks. It's already been 8 weeks, and so I don't want to forget any of this. One, so I just remember this, but two, so that I can share with you guys my experience. So I went in for a C-section, a scheduled C-section, and at 38 weeks due to cholestasis, which is a whole nother thing that I'm not going to talk about today, but that was my diagnosis. I was having really itchy hands and feet on my palms. Okay, sorry, my little one's feeding, so this is going to be like a touch and go story here, but I was really itchy on the palms of my hands and the bottom of my feet, and it was mostly when I was sleeping that I noticed it. So that was at 37 weeks I noticed it, and I kind of knew that's what it was, but I was describing it to my doctor, and he's kind of like, you know what that is? I'm like, yeah, I do, as a labor and delivery nurse. So anyways, cholestasis was a diagnosis, so we scheduled the C-section. And C-section went great. It was amazing. It was way better, I thought, than my first C-section. And sorry, I'm trying to find so it doesn't glare on my glasses, but the C-section was great. It was so controlled. It was amazing. The spinal I had was great. I got a little nervous, of course, as you do, especially as a labor nurse. I feel like you know everything that's going on and that could go wrong, and so, you know, I'm laying there like, oh, a little nervous, but anyways, everything went great. Postpartum, everything went great. I got nice sleep at the hospital. She slept great. She like fed great at the hospital. Was latching on very well. And I remember that night she even gave me a stretch of like a 4-hour stretch of sleep, which was amazing. My son never did that. He was like eating every hour, I swear. So we did all of our stuff. We got out of there in time. And so just to fast forward, when I got home, the first night, everything was fine. We got home. I had all the support. My sister and my parents made sure that the house was nice and clean that we came home to. There was even a cute little sign. Everything was perfect, okay? And then the next day, I woke up and I was like, I was kind of itchy last night on my incision, but you know, you have the abdominal binder on there, and this was a different abdominal binder, and I work at the hospital I delivered at, so I knew that this binder was new and different. So I thought, well, maybe I'm itchy because of that. So I just chucked it up for it being that. Well, then I looked down at my incision, took the binder off, and I had already taken the dressing off at the hospital. My nurse looked at it, everything was fine. But once I was home, I looked at it, and yeah, it was bright red everywhere, all across my incision, and it was extremely itchy. So I sent a picture to my doctor because I do have his phone number. He's amazing and allowed me to do that. So he told me that it looked like I had a reaction to the steri strips, which were still in place, and to remove those immediately. So thank God my sister was still here, who is a nurse as well, and she was able to do that safely and, you know, sterilely clean, and removed those steri strips. He then called in a topical steroid first, I do believe, and I put that on. Then it started to, the next day or a couple days later, spread. So now it was not just over my incision, but it was like kind of creeping to my hips, going down to my thighs, and a little bit up on my abdomen, not too much at the beginning. So I think it was a day or two later, and he said, I'm glad we caught this early, that, you know, this should be good, so let's start you on the oral. I think we should. I kind of went back and forth on that because I'm like, gosh, you know, I'm already taking, you know, pain meds and stuff, and I'm breastfeeding, and I'm just cautious about what is going to her. But I can't take it. I mean, I am itching like crazy. I felt like a crazy person. So I did the oral steroids. I hated how they made me feel. I don't know that I've ever taken steroids in my life, or if I did, I was younger and don't remember, but I did not like how it made me feel. I ended up having some migraines with them. My heart felt like it was racing. I did not like how I felt with that. So anyways, I did that. I completed the steroids, and I'm still itching, and the itching went everywhere, like down my thighs, into my lady parts, my backside. I even had it at my back at one point. Later it went around my lips, around my lips. It looked like one morning I woke up and was like, did I get like some injections, lip injections? Because my lips were huge and red and itchy. And so it was so weird. It was just where it was spreading, but it was awful. My baby was, at the time, she was sleeping so good. I mean, she's still, like, compared to my son, she's a good sleeper. He eventually got better, but he was not in the beginning, and she was such a good sleeper. And I'm up itching, just staring at everyone else sleeping in the house, and I'm walking around itching all night long, because it was that bad. Now, Benadryl is safe to take, I was told, but can make the baby sleepy. The other thing is, I thought it was the steroids, but I guess it was not the steroids. It was just the stress that my body was going through at the time. My milk supply dropped, and because of that, her weight was dropping more than the pediatricians wanted to see. So they recommended that we started supplementing her with some formula, which I did that with my son, but not till he was 7 months old, when I felt like I just couldn't keep my supply up with him and needed to give him something, due to like my work schedule too. We would give it to him at nighttime only. So I was just kind of sad. I didn't want to start formula so soon with her. I just felt like it was too soon for me. But at the end of the day, I have to do what I have to do for my baby, and I needed her to gain some weight. So I had to do that. I had to give her some formula. So I do remember that part being kind of hard, like mentally, and even crying to the pediatrician, like, wait, I don't have enough milk supply for my baby, you know, this is so stressful. But since then I have gained my milk supply back, which is very good and a blessing, and she's gaining tons of weight now, so she's good, nice and chunky, how I like my babies. So but anyways, so the steroids, I took the oral steroids, I did the topical, and it wasn't getting better. I went back to see my doctor, and he had said I could see a dermatologist if I wanted to. So I said, well, I do have a dermatologist, let me see if I can get in. So I had called them, and they got me in the next day, which thank God, because that does not always happen. So I got in with the dermatologist, and he confirmed it was the steri strips, which that's what my OB had told me as well, is it was the steri strips. For a while I was thinking, gosh, that's so weird, because I had steri strips before with my son and no problem. And I know that before we used a different type of prep. I think we used to use the DuraPrep, and now we use the ChloroPrep, or no, vice versa, I think. Anyways, I thought maybe it was the prep that we used. But the dermatologist confirmed what my OB said, and said, no, it is the steri strips. Look at how you can see the redness around each of those. He reassured me that the way my body was reacting was totally normal, and that the reason it was spreading, it's not because it was spreading necessarily like a rash that's spreading. He said it's because my body was trying to fight this off from that one section. So we had to take care of the rash in that one section first. So he gave me another topical steroid. So I had 2 topical steroids that I was using, and he recommended that I start do another round of the oral if that didn't help. I was so reluctant to do a round of steroids, oral steroids again, because I knew how it made me feel before, and I did not want to do that. And the dermatologist had even said he wanted really for me to do a stronger dose than what my OB did, and I was like, oh gosh, no, I felt like that was enough. So I really did not want to do another dose, so I thought, I'm just going to wait it out. Let's try the topical and see how that works. So after a couple of days, I actually started to notice a difference, and I was so thankful. I was still itchy, but it was better. It was starting to become more and more tolerable. So I did that for, I want to say, about a week or so more. Or was it 2 weeks? No, I think it was 2 weeks more. And then followed up with a dermatologist again. I was starting to feel really good. I was so hopeful. And he told me I needed to stop the steroids because you can't do the orals or the topical steroids forever. It makes your skin really thin, I think he said. And so I stopped those. The next day, I broke out in this like eczema-y rash. It was different than the other rashes. And this time it was on my arms and still on my belly, like hip area, and a little bit on my thighs. And so he had told me that this could happen and I could still have a little itching. And so he prescribed me a different cream, not a steroid cream, to try instead for afterwards now. The cream was $100 with my insurance, and I used that for a couple of days, and then finally everything got better. I ended up, because that cream was so expensive in a tiny little tube, I didn't use all of it. I ended up getting a different eczema cream, and I'll show all of this to you guys in another video if you're interested in knowing the exact products that I was given and used. But I used it, just the eczema cream that you can get at the store. I got it on Amazon, and that seemed to work, and I'm still using it to this day. I think it has been now 2 weeks since I've had any itching. I want to say 2 or 3, maybe almost 3 weeks. And I'm at 8 weeks now. So it took a while for it to totally taper off. And I don't know, I was kind of doing my own research. I don't know if the itching I had after stopping the topical steroid was some sort of like steroid withdrawal that my body was going through, because I had read that some people said they had that, which I still kind of get these little like blistery kind of things around my body here and there where the rash was. They don't super itch, they go away quickly, but those will just kind of pop up from time to time still. I just had one the other day on my stomach, so I'm assuming that's kind of what that is. They don't really bother me, but if it continues for a while, I'm going to call my dermatologist back and see if there's anything different I should be doing about that. But yeah, that was quite the experience. And now I know I'm allergic to steri strips, which is funny because my 6-year-old son keeps saying, it was Christmas recently, right? And we're wrapping presents, and he's like, Mom, you can't touch this tape. You're allergic to tape. Well, I'm allergic to the steri strips, but anyways, it was quite interesting, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And that was kind of the delay in putting out our baby pictures and stuff like that. I felt like I didn't get as much time bonding with her because I was miserable, guys. I was like crying at night. I was so itchy. In fact, one night I had packed my bags and I said, just take me to the hospital. I don't know what they can do for me. They could give me a sedative or something. We'll just formula feed her. And guys, I love breastfeeding. I'm a lactation consultant. I am like, it's my passion, right? So for me to just totally give that up was like a huge thing. And everyone in my family could tell it was really irritating me if I'm saying that, right? But I couldn't have done it without the support of my family. My parents and my sister were here. Thank God for my sister. She was a saint and was able to help get the steri strips off and help set us up for the dressing changes. And then my significant other, he was amazing, not medical at all, and was able to go and do all the dressing changes after my sister left, which I was so thankful for, because I could do some of them, but it was really hard. We had to kind of paint on the cream at first because we didn't want it to get into the incision that's still healing, but it needed to go around it. So it was very tricky to put all of that on. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, if this has ever happened to you after a C-section, let me know, because I was kind of looking on some other apps on Reddit and Googling it, and it seems like this is a common thing for other moms too. So let me know if this has happened to you. And yeah, if you guys are interested, I'll do another video here quickly about the products that I used and things that helped me, so that maybe I can help you, which, like, God forbid you ever have to go through this. I hope you do not. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Just wanted to share that story with you. Okay, bye.